Another one.
Self-help written by Zigzag Ziggler. You know my monster band been a minotaur. Roll up to your concert, leave everybody in the dark. Go home, get physical, Pat Benatar. Pull up to the land with the marijuana in the jar. Bump it like a prayer, make a player wanna end the star. How's the love, Kate Bush, blaring out the speakers. Can't believe I got it off of saying shit of t-shirts. God bless Mama and them. God bless Kaepernick. God bless everything I learned from this rapping shit. Rap John Malkovich. Living where the traffic is. What year Mac is this? Acura, NSX, and then sex. Not the only meaning of life. But if we gotta get by with just that, then tonight gonna be alright. Alright.
You know, because I didn't know Connor at all. Like, he just heard my music and was just like, come open up for Bright Eyes.
Wait.
I got an email, dude.
That's not true. Wait, I really don't even know the story.
The story is insane. Like, I went on tour with Jim Fairchild. He had a band called All Smiles. And he's like, and I always just played my own music. And I was doing, like, I was starting to get into the commercial world because I was like, no one's buying my records. I need to figure out a way to make money. So I was like deep into that world, or trying to get into there inside my little studio thing, and I made, at that point I was like, I'm just gonna make records forever, whether people hear them or not. I don't really care.
Yeah.
And so I had a CD, and I would just go anytime I'd play, I would just hand out CDs, right?
Giving away music.
In 2006, I was giving it away already. I was just like, here. I would play a show and put a stack of CDs like on the stage. I didn't even have a merch. I would be like, here, just take them.
Wait, and you were playing, I mean, like, were you...
I was just playing here in town, like, the Tangier. I played the Tangier all the time. Silver Lake Lounge. Well, you know, all those. El Cid.
Right.
Anywhere. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jim Fairchild heard it, and he was just like, have you ever thought about playing in bands? I was like, no, I never thought about it. He's like, you should come play guitar with me. I'm doing this tour. I was like, that sounds awesome. He's like, I can pay you a couple bucks. And I was like, that'd be amazing. Let's go.
Yeah.
So we went, and then, like I said, I always had CDs, and I would give them to people. And last show was in Omaha, and we did like a late night, you know, blowout.
Right.
And like somehow ends up as like you're in the living room. And there's like passing a guitar around. I'm kind of like, I don't like the situation.
Yeah.
So I was like, but finally Jim was like, hey man, you should play a song or whatever. So I played Sundown, the song. Like whatever, played it. And then after whatever, this dude came up. He's like, hey man, you got any CDs? That was cool. I just at a party. I was like, I always had CDs. Like, always, like in my pocket, just here, always.
Yeah.
And so I was like, here, dude. Well, it turns out, like, that was Connor's cousin, Ian. I did not know. I hung out with him all night. I wrote out I liked the guy.
Yeah.
So I swear to God, like, it was a couple weeks later, and I got, like, a little email from Jim, and Jim was like, dude, Connor heard your CD, he really likes it. I was like, Connor? You know, like, Oberst. I was like, he's like, Bright Eyes. I was like, wow, that's a big band. I didn't really know. I knew they were huge, or big, you know. And I swear to God, it was like a week later, and I get an email from him. It said, Connor, and I open it, and it's like, hey man, I've been listening to your record. It's so cool. I was wondering if you want to go on tour with Bright Eyes. And I was like, I went and like knocked on my roommate's door. And I was like, is this spam? Do you think this is real? I swear to God. I was like, do you really think this is like Connor? Like, and so I was like, wow. You know, I emailed him back. I was like, man, that's, wow, really? You know? Straight up. I mean, I hadn't played a show in months. Like I said, I'd kind of gone into like, I need to figure out how to make a living, and you know, no one bought my record, you know. So I literally like, I had a couple bucks in the bank, and I was like, what do I do? And then people were like, dude, you need to make CDs. And I was like, I had like maybe like 50 that I had, and I was like, well, so I made these CDs. Or whatever, because they're like, people are going to buy them. And I was like, what? Like, how many should I make? Like, what is this? And I remember and it was like mind-blowing, dude. Like, I was just like, so he's like, yeah, just come out here. I was like, I don't have a band or anything, you know? He's like, I don't care, just come out here and you can ride on the bus. Just via email, and then Dimenstein got involved. He's like, yeah, Connor just wants you, just come out, ride on the bus.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So I just like bought a plane ticket, had a suitcase full of like all these CDs I'd made, having no idea, like what are people gonna really buy, and my guitar, not this one, but different one. And then flew out there, and yeah, they were like, I showed up. Foley was like there. He like put me on the bus. He's like, here's your bunk. I was like, I'm gonna ride on a tour bus. I mean, tripped out, dude. Tripped out. And I walked out on stage. I'd never played for that many people in my life. Yeah. I mean, it was Denver. The Ogden, I think, was the first one. And I hadn't played show in like months, dude. And I just walked down the stage. And there was so many people. I was like, holy shit. I swear to God, dude. And then from then on out, it was just like, I remember we played Alaska. And I sold 100 CDs. 100.
That was like...
it's mind-blowing to me. I mean, it's $1,000, I mean, my pockets were just $1. I went to Connor's manager. I was like, dude, I need to find a fucking bank. My pockets are sick. Like, it was like, money was like coming out of my pockets. It was like a rap video, dude. I had so much money, dude.
That's amazing. Wait, and you didn't know like Bozell or like Walcott?
No, none of those dudes. None. The first person I met was Macy.
Whoa.
He came out of the Ogden Theater, and I had a suitcase in my bag, and I was just like, the taxi cab dropped me off, and there's Macy. He's like, you Nick, and I was just like, yeah. He's like, yeah, come on in. I was like, yeah, dude, cool.
Wait, how long after that tour did the Mystic Valley Band start?
Probably like 4 months later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it never really, it's just like, it was like one thing that just never really stopped until it stopped.
That story the whole thing is really pretty amazing. Like, that was a really amazing turn of events. Because to go to what we were talking about right before this was so I did a West Coast with opening up for Bright Eyes, and it was over, and I was just like, I shook the dude's hand, Connor, I was just like, I don't know how to thank you, man, but that was crazy.
Yeah.
So thank you, what I mean? Like that, I don't know what to say,
Yeah.
And like, cause I can honestly tell you, like, I was at a point in my life or career where I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'd already been touring for 4 or 5 years maybe, and I was just like, it's just not working.
Yeah.
So I need to figure out a way to make a living doing this. So anyway, so then I get an email from Dimenstein like a couple days later. They played the Hollywood Bowl, right? Bright Eyes. I did not play that.
Right.
But they played there, and I was just like hugged everybody. I was like, thank you, that was amazing. And then like it was a couple days later, I got an email from Dimenstein. He's like, hey, Connor wants to know if you want to fly out, meet him in like Alabama, and do the East Coast. Yeah. And I was just like, okay. So I bought a plane ticket, went out there, and it was the Felice brothers. So this is the first time I met them, and I think it was the first time they met Connor, because they were very just like same thing I was. I think they were kind of like, is this for real?
Yeah.
Kind of like, is this guy really this nice, this generous?
Yeah.
To be playing with this many people. So anyway, and the Felice brothers are, do you know them?
Yeah.
I mean, at first they're the best, but at first they're very just like, they're kind of like a gang.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah.
And I was kind of like, okay, all right, so that's your, all right, that's your space. But, over time, you become friends, and they're great. But I made a deal with them. So the first show I played with them was like, I think it was upstate, it was in New York, Ithaca or something weird. And it was a rowdy ass club, dude. Rowdy. And it was standing, and it was like a big ass long bar in the back. And I was like, and everyone kept saying, well, this is Connor's like B market. So I'm just like, we're on the outskirts. See, this is like a college town-ish. And it's rowdy and it's packed. And I got to go up there and play solo. And I bombed like miserably. I mean, it was like, you couldn't even hear me. People are like, yeah, boo, you know, and I was just like, damn, I'm just like dying up here. And so Felice went up there and just like slaughtered. I mean, the place was going crazy for them. You know, that's what they wanted. You know.
Yeah.
And then the show went on, and so that the very next day, and what the way Dimmonstein had done it, he was like going, okay, Nik is first of 3, and then the next one, I'm this middle. We switched.
Yeah.
So Felice would be first, and then they'd be, you know, we'd flip.
Right.
I go, that's not gonna work. Because if I gotta go second after the Felice brothers, and it's like that, forget it. And so I was like, I went into their green room and I was like, oh, here's the deal, you guys. I don't care what the thing says. Like, if we show up to a venue and it's seated, I go second. I go after you. If it's not, you guys are going second. I don't care what the thing says. Okay? And they're like, deal, you know? And I think there might have only been 2 seated places. But I'm telling you right now, when I went up there, dude. I mean, I'm not like some guy that's gonna be like, yo, I'm bad. But it was, I killed it. So what, dude, I mean, it's a crazy story. So we finished that East Coast run. And then they played, like, Bright Eyes played, like, what is that? In New York City, the giant place. Is it
Terminal 5?
No. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, huge. Anyway, I flew home, and then I was just like, that was crazy. Was that still kind of going like,
right? Yeah.
Is this dude for real?
Yeah.
And so, I get an email from him a few weeks later. And he's like, hey, like, I'm playing a New Year's Eve show in Minneapolis. Like, we're playing this club. You want to come open we're playing 2 nights. I was like, that sounds great. Wow. Okay, let's go. So, like, I go back out there, and he goes, here's the deal. No, this is what he said. He goes, I'll buy your plane ticket out here to Omaha if you can play some electric. You play the electric guitar at the shows, or whatever. And I was just like, oh, okay. Well, send me the records, the Bright Eye stuff, and I'll learn the songs. He's like, no, I'm not gonna just come out here with the guitar. And I was just like, all right. I'm gonna learn these songs on the spot. Like, this is gonna be kind of. And I saw Mogus playing, you know, that whole Bright Eye tour. And I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do that, dude. You know, he was just like shredding. And I was like, dude, I don't know what this guy expects.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget. It was Omaha Airport. I get off the plane, go into the terminal, and then there's Bozell, who I'd never met. Macy, who I knew.
Yeah, right.
Mace. That was it. And so I introduced myself, or, you know, and so we go down, it's snowing, you know, and we go back to their place, and we go to his basement. Like, we go directly into his house, into his basement. I'm still tripping on the house. I'm just like, this is sick.
Yes, yeah.
And I also, the whole thing was really crazy. And I also said, my guitar was kind of bummer. I was like, do you have so I don't have to take 2 guitars. Can I just like use an electric guitar out there? Do you have anything? He's like, yeah, I got something. So there was this guitar. Right here. This guitar.
Right.
So that was sitting there next to an amp. And we walked down there, and he goes, okay, well, and he just starts, this song's in whatever, A or D or something, and okay, and he like just plays the song, you know, and I just started like playing along to it. I was like, I never heard this before.
Yeah.
And we got, you know, through, I don't know, maybe 10 songs. I don't even know. Like, Walcott was there.
Right.
In the corner on like a little thing set up. And so, after we played through the songs, he kind of just goes, you know, so you guys can tell, I mean, these are all like brand new songs. And I was like, as soon as he said that, my brain went, well, I'm coming up with parts. I'm not going to just play the chords. I'm going to come up with some parts, dude. You know what I mean? So the next time through, like, I started like, you know, listening, and I came up with like all the parts that are on that. His first solo record was in that basement, like right then. Like we just started, and then the harmonies. And by the end of the night, I mean, I feel like we were just like, he was stoked.
Uh-huh.
And then I was just like, I don't know what this is, you know, but, or whatever. And then we go play these 2 shows in Minneapolis at the, was it 400 bar? Or the 400 Club, 400 bar?
Is, the Prince place? With the stars and shit?
No, not First Ave. No, it was like a tiny, it was
really?
Small.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like maybe 300 people.
Okay.
Yeah. We played those. A tiny stage.
Right.
And we played like, you know, what would be the Valley Band before Taylor.
Yeah,
we played all those songs from his record.
No way.
Yeah, at the club. And I remember, so the second night, like, so we finished it, and I was like, that was cool. And then, like, we go back to the hotel, and, like, you know, is it New Year's? No, it's the day before New Year's, and we're, like, partying, and he's like, this all happened, dude.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, he comes up to me, he's like, yo, man, like, we're going to Mexico. And I was like, that's cool. You know?
Yeah.
Cool. And he's like, all that stuff, like, you're doing on the guitar, like, I think that needs to be on this record. And I was like, all right. He's like, you want to go down there? I was like, yeah. What? That's how it happened. I swear to God. And, like...
Dude, no way.
Yeah. And then he bought the tickets, and then I went down there. But another gnarly thing that happened was the very next day, he's like, what do you think about, you know, the presidential thing? He's like, this Barack Obama guy. And I was like, I'm really, you know, I was like, dude, this guy seems pretty rad.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a supporter of this guy. And, like, I'm playing at a couple of these. It was right when the Iowa caucus, it was like the first thing.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm playing a couple of these fundraisers for him, or like, you know, these rallies. You want to like play with me? I was like, all right. So the very next morning after that at the hotel, playing those 2 shows, we drove and we went to some bowling alley and some other place in some towns in Iowa and played these Barack Obama like rallies. And then it was New Year's Eve, so we partied, and woke up the next morning at like hella early, and went to like another rally to play. Me, Walcott, Connor are playing. I think Foley was there, Phil, Karina, I think. I'm trying to think who else. Snow. I'm wearing white Vans, like. I'm like full on California guy. Like I was like, they're brown, they're like black at this point. It's like mud. And I'm just like, I am not used to this at all. But I'm rolling with it. And so we play this school, right? And it's like an auditorium. Like, we play. And he's like, we get off the stage and ushering, and there's like Secret Service or whatever. And he's like, they go, would you like to meet Obama? And we're like, yeah. So they usher us into this room. Do you know about this?
No.
Yeah. This all happened, dude. So we go into this room, and it's like they shut the door, and it's just like, it wasn't like a janitorial, like janitor room, you know? We're kind of like, we're all against the wall, like, so spread. I'm the last one. And I'm looking pretty, like, you have to think, like, this is the morning after New Year's. So, like, I'm struggling, dude. Struggling.
In your black Vans.
In my Vans, in my pants, and I'm just like, man. Door opens, Obama rolls in. They shut the door. Boom. And it's just us, Obama. And I'm just like, what? And he comes around, he's just like, man, I really want to thank you, and he like shakes each of our hands, and he gets to me, I swear to this. He gets to me, shakes my hand, he looks me up and down. And then he looks at everybody, he's like, now I know this is a day of recovery. He knew, man. He knew.
Yeah.
And then we took a picture. He brought a photographer in from Time magazine. They came in. We stood with Barack Obama and took a photo. And no one can find it. Connor, I just talked to him about it because he's been like trying to find it. There's a photo of us.
New Year's Day recovering with Obama.
Yeah. Somewhere.
That is insane.
I was literally doing... I thought I was doing pretty well. I was working for this guy named Miles Karosky. In this band called Beulah. and he was getting these hookups, and we did all the music for a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was like what I was doing. It was a pilot for the Cartoon Network. And I was like, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I was like set. I go, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? And then right when I finished that, I got that email, and that
spam.
yeah, that I thought was spam. And then the dude, I told, Miles, I was like, yo man, like, I'm out. I'm gonna go do this thing. He's like, what? Like how? We got this, thing kind of going, and I was like, I don't know, man. This is crazy. I'm just gonna roll with this for a while, and it went.
Yeah.
It just went, and that's how. Again, it just you can't. All these, I see so many people that are always trying like so hard, and I did try hard, touring and like doing all this stuff, but you can't. You don't know what's gonna happen. You have no control, dude. All you can do is like what you do, and you have zero control.
Yeah.
And that's the best way.
Yeah.
Right.
That's also it's a trip because I just think that that's the total truth, but I feel like that's really hard advice for someone to take.
I know it is.
Yeah.
I can see it when I talk to people. You can't teach someone like patience or trust me. And I was not like stoked.
Yeah. Right.
I was like borderline bitter.
Mm-hmm.
I just seen so many of my friends that had tried to do it or that I'd met along the way that had toured and put out records and nothing was happening. And they were super. I was like, I'm not going to end up like that. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I got a bitter pot of Juno sais quoi. Guess what? I'm stirring it with a monkey's paw. Ever since I saw you coming out of that barber shop in that skimpy little halter top, did you light the candles? Did you put on kinda blue? Did you use that Ivy League voodoo on him too? He thinks he'll be alright, but he doesn't know for sure. Like every other unindicted co-conspirator. Mata Hari had a house in France while she was working on her secret plans. Men were falling for her sight unseen. She was a genius. There's a face in every window in the songwriter's neighborhood. Everybody's your best friend when you're doing well. I mean good. The boy who lived next door when you were young and poor turned out to be a backstabbing entrepreneur. Albert Einstein was a ladies' man when he was working on his universal plan. He was making out like Charlie Sheen. He was a genius. When you dropped me and you staked your claim on a VIP who could make your name, you latched on to him and I became a minor inconvenience. Your protege don't care about art. I'm the one who always told you you were smart. You broke my heart into smithereens, and that took genius. handsome pair. Guess what? I never liked the way he cut your hair. I never liked the way he turned your head. But there is nothing I can do or say I haven't done or said. Everybody needs a place to stand and a method for their schemes and scams. If I could only get my record clean, I'd be a genius.